Welcome to the Classes Permanent Podcast. Today is Friday, January 23rd, episode 15 here. We got a good one for you. Unfortunately, we do not have Pooch's AFCON corner. You're going to have to wait 4 more years for that. But we do have the transfer portal. We're jumping into a career mode. We had a really exciting week of Champions League footy. We had a nice weekend coming up here, some Prem footy. Because we did not get to our Mystery 11, I think Owen's got a good one prepared for us. And of course, we will do, as you all love, a little footy 501. Pooch can't beat me in those, but that's okay. Let's get things started. Away we go.
Class is permanent! Hey, 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 hey. Form is temporary! Hey, 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 hey. Form is temporary! Class
Alrighty. I'm joined by the man, the myth, the legend. He may not have ligaments in his shoulder. He may be out for a full calendar year, but that don't matter. He's still here. He's still podcasting through the pain. Mr. Daniel Paul Capucci Jr. Pooch, what's up, dude?
Got none of that right. Yeah, I'm doing good. I want to say I'm probably the only podcaster in the business that would do this. I don't know another person that would. I think that makes me tougher than everyone. And I could probably beat up every other podcaster in a fight besides Ethan Cohen. I think that would end up being a draw. Because we respect each other's abilities so much. And if he beats me, I will find a way to have ice on the ground where he walks,
Wow.
so he then slips,
That's where I thought you were
falls,
going with that.
and tears his ACL or hurts his shoulder. So I'd get back at him if he beat me. But I think now that he knows best move for him would be a draw. So a little bit of mind games there, but yeah.
Cool. The question is, how you doing, Pooch? But I don't even know where to start here, Pooch. There's no AFCON. We've only had AFCON to start this pod. I guess we could jump into some of the news. You wrote on our, I'm just telling everyone, and I'm making sure I pronounce this correctly, okay, I read it twice in my head. Celibate. We're good. He's not pranking me. Let's start here. This feels like a good spot based on where we're at. Explain this.
Yeah, Diogo Costa had an interview, I believe today, maybe yesterday. And in this interview, he mentioned, I guess he was talking to the interviewer about the different managers he's played under, and Antonio Conte came up. And he mentioned that Antonio Conte is always so angry all the time that he's pretty sure when he goes home, he just doesn't have sex. So it led me to a question. Is Antonio Conte celibate because he's married to the game? Like he's just that into the game? Or is it because he has a really bad toupee that his wife just doesn't even want to be around him?
I don't even know how you want me to answer that question.
Truthfully. I would like you to answer it truthfully.
I imagine because these managers, especially guys like Conte, I'd imagine Pep, probably Jose, probably Klopp. I imagine a lot of these managers are just such sickos and freaks when it comes to like the game and tactics that like the idea of like sexual intercourse is strictly a way for them to be like benefit on the field. You know what I mean? So like if the team is struggling, like he can't even think about that, you know?
So you're saying that if you want to be a high-end manager, you have to practice semen retention.
I didn't say that.
That's basically what you said, though.
That is one of the wildest ways to just say for celibacy.
You're the one that said it, not me.
One of the wildest phrase. You said no. I didn't say semen retention. You said semen retention.
But you gave the definition of it.
Yeah, you're right. I guess so. I'll give you that.
Pooch remontada there.
That's not a remontada. It's just a Pooch point. You just took a 1-0 lead. Congrats.
Thanks. Messi free kick, upper 90.
I don't even know how to answer your question, honestly. I've never thought about this. Owen, thoughts? I don't know. What other news out here? I'm looking up. Trinity Rodman got a record deal in the the NWSL. Cool. Oh, Pooch is acting like he's sleeping. Pooch.
What? Sorry.
Not a fan of Trinity Rodman.
I'm not a fan of the NWSL. I think it's a BS league. I think the league is run by corporate greed.
Ooh.
And then on top of that, the managers that they hire are complete assholes most of the time. I think last year there was a total of 2 or 3 that allegedly got fired because of sexual harassment towards the players. So I just think it's a really poorly run league. It's not handled well. I mean, there's been bullying on Angels, alleged bullying on Angel City FC. I just think it's a league where if I'm a top player, I want to go to Europe. A lot of these European teams are now putting a ton of money behind their female football teams, and I think that's it would be, I think, great to go live in Europe, and then B,
Mm,
like, you can play for a team like a Barcelona,
nice.
Arsenal, like, Chelsea, like one of these, like Bayern Munich, like you can play for a top team in Europe. A lot of the Americans are now doing it. I think the NWSL, it's a bigger indictment on American women's soccer in general, where we've kind of hit a point where we for years thought we were so much better than the rest of the world um at the sport, for the female gender, that like we didn't need to keep improving. And I think a key point in that is now seeing the NWSL, where we used to get all of, like, you remember Marta, the Brazilian player?
Yeah.
Like she was in the NWSL for years. Like now those players, those really good players on a South American team or European team aren't looking to go to the NWSL and play. They're looking to go to Europe or stay in Europe and play. And I think it's a bigger indictment on the national team in general that a lot of these players are doing that. With that being said, I think they paid her a ton of money, like a load of money, because she was getting a ton of looks in Europe. So I think they paid above the value, but I'm just not a fan of the league in general. Now if they throw me a huge sponsorship deal, my thoughts can be swayed very,
Mm,
very much.
okay.
But for the time being, since nobody has thrown any money at me in any sort of way, I'm sticking to
Mm,
my actual thoughts. So that was my women's soccer take.
great. Let's move into the transfer portal.
Do you have any thoughts, E? I didn't even ask you. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I like Dennis Rodman. It's his daughter. Baller.
No, on the
USA.
state
I'm
of
a proud American.
on the state of women's football in general.
Barcelona's just better than everyone else, so it doesn't matter to
Well,
me.
yeah, that makes sense. They won Europe last year, right?
First time for you.
Who? Me?
Yeah, you.
Oh, because Arsenal beat them in the Champions League, the Women's Champions League.
This guy Pooch, man. We're not
Well,
doing this right now, especially as a queer.
you clearly don't know your women's football history, because that was the second time Arsenal's
Mm.
won a Champions League, a
Wow.
women's Champions League. They're the
Wow.
only English club to win one.
Wow.
Yeah,
How many does the
Chelsea.
men's have?
How many does the men's
Oh.
have? They have 0, but if we go by the
Oh.
club in general, we have
Oh.
2.
So that's what you're doing? You're going by the club in general?
Yeah, I think it's important that women also get a seat at the table when it comes to talking football for the club.
I'm sure you do. Pooch, 2 deep Pooch. Maybe a third on the way.
I'm talking women's football, Ethan, and you're bringing it into something. There's
Pooch,
so
you were
many
talking about
bigger
semen
things.
retention about 5 minutes ago. You
Hey,
want to continue?
hey, you got me.
Ethan Ramotada. And it's 1-1 here at the. That's a bad accent. I'm going to have to cut that.
No. Do it again. You got to do
No,
it. You
I
got to do
actually
it.
went
No.
like.
No, you got to
went
do
like-
it now. You went Kermit the Frog. You got to do it again. You got to do it again.
Here in the studio. Back to you, Derek.
Oh,
That was
that
actually
was
Owen. Thank
awesome,
you for
but
Owen.
horrendous at the same time.
All right, whatever, man. This is going to be one of those episodes for those listening right now. Like, this is just going to be one of those episodes that I'm on edge for whatever reason, and me and Pooch were goofing off, but I feel like we're just going to attack each other, and occasionally Owen is going to tell us to shut up and move on. But, also, I might notice a typo. All right. Any additional news, Pooch?
No, I'm fine.
Okay. Do you want to explain to the people happening your shoulder? Because you got more info.
No.
Pooch's shoulder is like one of those ribs you see from like the South where you pull it falls right off the bone. That shit is not connected. They told him that he inverted his wing, bro. Due to his Pep Guardiola of having a shoulder. Unfortunately, Pooch just told me earlier tonight for men's league that not to worry about him for the spring, not to worry about him for the summer. He said, but save him a seat in the fall. Pooch returns. So obviously dreadful news. It's really only been dreadful news on this podcast with your shoulder since day one.
Can we do a Hector Bellerin style documentary called My Journey? And
Yes.
it's just me like
Yes.
my road to recovery.
I love that.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe Owen. So maybe you can start following Pooch around all day with a camera and going like when he's in the office, when he's at home, like the way he's strengthening it. I mean, Pooch, why don't you tell Owen some different ways you're strengthening it?
Right now I can't. I physically can't. Otherwise it'll
Your
like
semen retaining?
are we talking about my shoulder or no? Like what are we doing here?
Ay, ay, ay. All right, let's move on. Pooch, why don't you take us into the transfer portal?
You are now entering the transfer portal.
Pretty good. All right, I want to give us a thumbs up. I'll take that. Alrighty. Some things that got confirmed this week. We spoke about them on the last episode. Lorenzo Luca officially to to Nottingham. Noah Lang officially to Galatasaray. You okay?
I said Nottingham.
I thought you had a loogie. What is going on
No,
in this episode? Noah
it's
Lang
my
to
Yorkshire.
Hey, yeah, Pooch was also wearing a Guinness hat. That's awesome. A Guinness beanie. It's like I wish time to cancel the pod. Noah Lang to Galatasaray. Casemiro announced he's going to leave Man United in the summer. I mean, he's an old man. Makes sense. Donzi to Genoa. Why don't you tell me about that transfer, Pooch? In
It's
10 seconds.
quite interesting. I guess he fell out of favor, but I think he's one for the future. Don't know if it's
Oh,
going to be at Roma or Roma or somewhere else though.
okay. Zinchenko to Ajax. Pooch, you want to talk about that too? Your former
10
lad.
seconds or no?
15.
Canceled his loan to Nottingham because he was shit. Going to Ajax to get more game time so he can possibly make the World Cup roster because right now it doesn't. I wouldn't probably take him.
Wow. Even Zinchenko's Ukraine, right?
Yeah, he's their captain. He's gonna make it. But
Yeah.
I like
That's about sense.
he's not in any sort of form. Like he doesn't play.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
like going to Ajax, he knows he was on loan at PSV when he was a young guy at City. So I think the deal is 6-month loan, and then they're trying to work out a permanent transfer for him. But it's weird because his contract's up in the summer. So I guess Ajax is maybe trying to jump the queue to make sure that they get him fully, and they're willing to give Arsenal a little bit of money for him so they can actually make that happen. But for right now, it's just a straight loan, 6-month loan.
Okay. Fair enough. And another one for you, another Arsenal lad, Neri to Marseille on loan. Oh, I pronounced it wrong.
Wanyeri.
What does he want?
The N is silent.
What does he want?
No, Wanyeri.
Like Wagwan Yeri to Marseille.
Yeah.
Teammates with Mason Greenwood. And sorry, Owen
Yeah.
disavowed. Owen disavowed. That's on me.
It's actually on Arsenal Twitter. That's a big debate right now. They're basically
What's the debate?
saying, well, not a debate, but like a talking point where they're like sitting there and they're like, not only is his manager a football terrorist, but he's also like getting like advice from #him. And I was like, oh, who's #him? And then I was like, oh, Greenwood. Yeah, it's an interesting move. I think he'll get a ton of game time, which he needs, on a team that will probably make the next round of Champions League. And apparently Arteta and De Zerbi had had a bunch of talks, I guess, about his development in general. So it seems like Arteta highly rates De Zerbi in terms of his football IQ and tactics and all of that, and like kind of helping him teach him how to like become a really good footballer. I wouldn't be shocked if it's 6 months now and then in the summer, if all goes well, another year-long loan. Because we just recently signed him to like a 5-year deal. So I see his development maybe going the same way Saliba's did, where it's like Saliba we loaned out for like 2 or 3 seasons before he even started for Arsenal. And so I could see that happening with Wanyeri, where you have an Odegaard and an Eze who are both kind of in their prime right now. And then this guy just kind of gets, since he's so young, transferred out to a bunch of different clubs. With managers that Arteta knows and appreciates their footballing style, and then he comes back and he's really,
that
really
is
good.
the key. That's the key right there to a good loan.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, I know for a couple of players that at least have had higher potential, like for instance, like Ansu Fati. I think when he went to Brighton, De Zerbi was still the manager there. I could be wrong, but that was a big deal.
Was that last year that he went?
No, I think 2 years ago.
If it was 2 years ago, then you're correct.
Managed Fati. Yeah, he managed. Yeah, he did. And I remember that was a big deal at that time. Was like Barca was like, oh, they trusted De Zerbi to give him minutes and whatever. I think he got hurt again, but
I think De Zerbi and other managers worldwide's minds is he's really good at like helping cultivate a young superstar in terms of like their potential, like helping them reach it. because he is so demanding, but he does play an attacking style.
Yeah.
So it is very much like, okay, this guy isn't like a guy that will play five in the back and like you're just going to be countering
Yeah.
all day. Like, because other teams that were looking at him were kind of lower level prem teams, like table wise. And like, why would you want this 18-year-old to go learn like
Right.
five in the back hoof it ball? Like, you want him to go to a manager that's going to play a more expressive attacking style. So,
Correct. And funny enough, I actually ended up watching a video yesterday about De Zerbi on YouTube. I was just curious. It was like the old, well, it wasn't the old. This was actually the video I watched after why like Pep's kind of new tactics like that, like 3-2-5 has stopped working. But and then the next video I watched is how De Zerbi was like the first one to like kind of dismantle the gegenpress, and then Pep and then Arteta kind of followed suit. Obviously dealing with Klopp, and it was pretty cool to see. I mean, De Zerbi said like he used to study Pep and like Barcelona like crazy, so it makes sense why he plays the way he does, and he has a lot of like ideas when it comes to passing, movement, body position, and how to put players in those positions. So it's kind of cool to see and to learn. I not that I didn't know that he was an attacking manager, but I didn't think he was like a Pep disciple, if that makes sense. And
yeah.
he's like a full Pep disciple, kind of like in that. So it makes sense. Like the young ability and like a guys like Ansu Fati now and Waneri, two like young, exciting winners makes sense for him, and wanted to cultivate that. So probably a good move there. Um, Mason Greenwood, though, not his best move. We'll just call. I don't want to call him him. What should we call him now? Now that Owen has completely disavowed him, what should we call him?
Voldemort,
Do we call him Voldemort? Should we just
Darth
call him?
Sidious.
Should we call him Evil Owen?
No, no. Owen disavowed him. We can't put
Yeah, we
his name
can't.
next to him.
Yeah, you're right. We'll call him Poochwood. All right, let's go into some rumors here. Douglas Luiz to Chelsea on loan. I've seen he was linked with a couple of clubs, but it looks like Chelsea are, if I'm not mistaken, last thing I think I saw, they were favorited, right, to end up getting him
Yeah.
in here. Did you see something different or the same?
No, I saw the same. I
Okay.
don't know how I feel about it. I feel like they have a lot of guys that are kind of that holding midfielder. Like I mean, they have a lot of guys in general, but like I don't know if he doesn't move the needle for them in any sort of way, in my opinion. I'd rather have Andre Santos as the backup to Caicedo than I would Douglas Luiz. Like, in all honesty,
Yeah, I guess he
but
just
that's
brings
just my
seniority.
opinion.
You know what I mean? Like a veteran
I
presence, but I
guess.
get what you're saying. He's not been very good.
And plus, like, you say seniority, but has he ever in his career, have you ever heard any outlet or like player be like, yeah, Douglas Luiz has like really helped us in the lot. Like, he's a really good leader. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
No, I hear what you're saying.
I guess he was a captain at a time at Villa, but like,
I believe so.
I, 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 I don't know. It's just, yeah.
I mean, listen, at the end of the day, systems also change things, right? Like at Villa, I remember him being
Yeah.
pretty good and being a fan. And then obviously Nottingham, he hasn't looked great, but it's also form. And I don't know, maybe Rosenor or however you say his name, maybe he has a plan for him. But I agree with you. If you have like, and at least for me, and what's funny is the Chelsea boys always text me after we do this and like, well, actually, it's all right. I could get it wrong. In my eyes, like you said, like I'd want like an Andre Santos or someone like that just to
Yeah.
get those minutes instead. But with such a young squad, I could also understand like just having one veteran head in the building, in the room. Yannick Carrasco to Roma on loan. Talk to me, Pooch. I have not seen this rumor. You made this up,
Wild.
or
No, I saw it today. Fab tweeted it. They want him on a straight loan for 6 months.
okay?
From Al Shabab in
Nice.
I believe Saudi Arabia. Um, Interesting one. I didn't even know he was there. You could have told me he's still at Atletico, and I would have believed you.
Really weird career path for that guy, man.
Yeah. I mean, money career path, so I love it. But yeah, I think it's a good one. I think I mentioned it to you before the show. I didn't even realize we loaned back Leon Bailey.
Yeah.
So I mean, we don't really play with wingers in general anyway, but once again, a guy that I look at that I would think that Carrasco may follow suit in is Stefan Al-Sharawi, where he basically can play anywhere on the like a wing back, or he could also play striker. So I could see Carrasco basically being in that mold where it is like he comes in, he helps as a wing back, but also can play as a striker, considering we have two, I guess, I mean, Mullen is younger, but him and Voss are young guys, and El Shaarawy is on the opposite side of 30, so having him as your third choice striker, maybe not the best idea at this point, but I think it'd be a good. I mean, we need attacking bodies in general.
Yeah.
We don't have enough, so I'm just happy that they're being active in the market and trying to go after a clear need.
Yeah, Yannick Carrasco's always been an interesting player in my eyes, just because when he was at Atleti the first time, very, very good. Then what? He went to
Hmm.
China, just like Young, he went to China. And then he came back to Atleti. While he was at Atleti at that time, I think that was Antonio Conte, Tottenham, and then Tottenham got linked. And then he like moved to Saudi. And it was just
Yeah,
weird. It's like, this is clearly a top player. And I know he's just moving for the most money at that point, but it's just kind of funny how that works. Like, big closer after you, and you're just like, nah, I'm out. And like the way like that form works. Cause right now you'd be like Yannick Carrasco. He's gonna come back to Roma, be in form, and he's gonna dip again.
yeah.
I hear you though, and a player of his level or his at least technical ability. I don't know if he still has pace, and
It could also be like a World Cup thing where I
that's
don't know if
true.
he's
That is true.
retired from international. I don't know if he's still on
Yeah,
the Belgian national team, but it could be one of those where he's like, "Hey, listen, I know that I'm on the fringes of the team, and like if I get back into Europe and show that I'm good enough for 6 months, I can make the team." Like
yeah. I mean, how old is the guy? 32. So he's got an opportunity. Yeah, he's 32.
it would
Yeah,
be
we'll have
his
to
last World Cup if he's still playing. Like,
for sure. No, 100%. I mean, the other thing I just saw too is apparently Al Shabaab's not opening the door for a move. So, but yeah, I mean, he seems to still have it athletically. On FIFA, he's got 87 pace and 85 dribbling. So that'll be fun. I like that. That's where I go first. Such a bad look for someone trying to be like in player personnel and scouting. Crescencio Somerville to Spurs. I'm not getting into this. I mean, like if we spend 25 mil on this guy, it's just annoying. It just doesn't make sense. It just like feels like another Wilson Odobert, maybe a little bit more experience than Wilson Odobert. It's just like, why do we keep, and I know Odebert's playing well now for Tottenham. But I don't know. Just like it just doesn't answer the problem. Tammy Abraham to Aston Villa. I saw some links here. Pooch, you see this or no?
yeah. I know that he's been wanting to come back to England.
Yeah.
I think I mean, I don't know if I put it in there. I don't know if it's on the sheet, because I'm looking at both of your wonderful
Yeah.
faces right now,
Thank
but
you.
I saw that Villa is also interested possibly in Jean-Philippe Mateta,
Yep.
and I know that Juve is also on that case.
Yep.
I think if I had the option, I'd probably go Mateta. Although
Yeah.
I did
100%.
hear I heard an alarming fact about Mateta. He hasn't scored a goal, like an open play goal since early not open play, a non-penalty goal, since early November. Um,
Ugh.
and so, like, he is kind of a purple patch type of player. Like, he goes
Yeah.
through, like, where he'll score 10 goals in, like, a month and a half, and then he won't score for a month and a half. So, I think I'd rather go with him right now because I don't Tammy Abraham's had some injury issues over the past few years,
Hmm.
but I think Abraham would be cheaper, and I know Villa is close to the PSR and everything, so
Yeah.
wouldn't be shocked if they went that way. I think Tammy's a good player, though. I like Tammy.
Yeah. And it also looks like, just talking about Juventus, they're interested in a couple of strikers. So it looks like Youssef and Nesri, who is part of that Morocco
Mhm.
team, which makes sense that some of these AFCON guys are starting to get looks now with, transfer window starting to wind down. Um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, my Teta, like you say, he's kind of a purple patch player. I just also think like he is not oh, we're going to win today because my Ted is in the team. I think we have a really good team. And then you look at my Ted and you're like, well, he's replaceable, but he's not my problem. You know what I'm trying to say? Like when you look at your
Yeah.
roster, it's like, well, he's not like our weak spot, but he's certainly not our strong spot. So if you have a strong team and you just need like someone to put the ball in the back of the net, I think he could do the job. But I agree with you. I mean, he's nothing, he's not signing, I don't know, Erling Holland, a young Erling Holland, and being like, all right, we're going to win today because Erling Holland's in the team, or Mbappe, or that's obviously, there's no one else like them. But you know what I'm saying?
I got you. I agree with you where it's and for that reason, he may fit at Villa because it gives more competition to Ollie Watkins, and he doesn't have to do everything because they have Morgan Rogers, McGinn,
It
um
it feels very much like how Palace was, especially when he was in best form with Eze, Olise, Wharton behind them. Obviously, Gahey in defense doesn't help, but Gahey also was so good at getting the ball up. Like he's such a good ball progressing center back. I'm sure that he has assists to him, right? Or at least putting the ball in position. Where now the team has been like just
I'm a little concerned for Palace because I do like Crystal Palace. I have nothing against
yeah,
Crystal Palace. I'm a little concerned for them, not only with manager leaving, but you get Mateta gone, Eze's gone, Gahey's gone. Uh, it it feels to me that they need to get the remainder of this window correct and then the summer window correct. Otherwise, we could be looking at a Wolves 2.0 where it's kind of a shock, like
Yeah.
not a shock, but like you start the season and you're like, really, that's the team Crystal Palace is going with? Like, and
Yeah.
it's not like it's for a lack of money like Wolves has
Yep.
had. It's maybe the investment hasn't gone back into the players. So I'm a bit like looking far, like a far looking outlook. I'm a
Yeah,
bit
no.
concerned at the makeup of this team. I guess we're just gonna have to watch it and see what manager they bring in next, and if it sticks to a Glasner-esque style or if they move into more traditional 4-3-3. But
Yeah, I'd be very scared if I was at Palace. I mean, obviously you just got Brendan Johnson in. If I'm him, I'm like, what the hell did I just walk into? Because
yeah,
now my Ted is out. They do have like I like Yeremy Pino a lot. Their left winger. He was very good in La Liga. I haven't really watched much at Palace, so I don't know if he's in form. Warren's going to leave in the summer. That's you
that's
budget for
another
that,
one.
but that's
Yeah.
probably 100 mil right there that you get. Daniel Munoz, right? Is that his name? Daniel or
He's
David?
gonna
He'll
or
leave.
yeah, he probably will. I know there was a lot of links to him at for United when Amarin was
Yeah.
there because he's like a perfect Amarin fullback. But now that Amarin's gone, don't think that will happen. But I agree, like he's a perfect five in the back,
Well,
wing
I
back.
like his ability as well. For, like I was thinking about Barca because at Barca you have a right back in Jules Koundé who does it like he takes the ball forward, but he's kind of like a pure like false back where he kind of gets in positions, but he's not like overlapping Lamine. Where I was like, wow, this might be like a really nice like affordable cheeky option. So I could see him moving. Chris Richards, depending how he does on the World Cup. Maxime Lacroix again, like I mean, now you just lost Gahey. I'm just literally looking at the team, and it's one of those things where it's like, don't worry, Zone, we're not gonna do a rebuild right now. We'll probably do a rebuild them in the summer when we do
Yeah,
career
no,
mode
it's
then.
a summer one would be great. But
Yeah,
basically, I agree with what you're saying. Like, they're really good. Like, even Tyreek Mitchell, like, really good fullback. Like,
yeah,
they have positions where you're sitting there and you're like, these guys are really good. But also, it's like the core of the team has been kind of taken away. Like, if they
yeah,
lose Mateta, your striker's gone. You lose Wharton, your best midfielder's gone. You've lost Eze, you've lost Gahey. Like that core of that team has been stripped away. And as we mentioned last episode, it's really hard to kind of continuously be this feeder club where you're finding talent because not only do you get stripped of like important players, but then bigger teams look at your front office and go, well, that guy's doing a great job at Palace identifying these
yep,
players. Let's put him to head of recruiting at like Tottenham, for example. And then
100%.
that guy
That's
goes
something we
there,
do.
and it's like, it's just tough to like just keep that kind of cycle going. So I, it's going to be a very interesting thing
I
on
agree.
Palace
My
moving
final point
forward.
here is just somebody that they have, I think in their reserves, maybe he's been on their bench. Chadi Riyad, he's a center
Mm,
back. He came from La Masia. A lot of Barca fans had big hopes for him. He ended up moving just because he needed game time, whatever. And like with Kubarsi and kind of the guys ahead of him, didn't make sense. He's somebody I could see next year being the guy that people are like, wow, this guy's a stud. You know what I mean? Like in that kind of progression. But let's keep it pushing here. That was all we had here for the transfer portal. I mean, I'm looking forward to next week as we kind of get into like literally the
mhm.
final days of it. That's when things accelerate. The winter's always going to be a little bit slower. But with that being said, we are going to move into our career mode. Alrighty, it is time for our career mode. We have decided, I don't even know if we hinted at this in prior episodes, but it was kind of an obvious one for us. We're going to Serie A. We're going to a team that has already kind of figured themselves out a bit, to ACF Fiorentina. Pooch, try it.
Fiorentina.
Owen. Hey. Okay. Fiorentina, obviously one of the most historic clubs in Serie A. And for those that don't know, they're currently 17th in Serie A. They started with a 15-match winless streak to start the season, and that has kind of put them in a bit of a bind. They're right now sitting on 17 points. They have 3 wins, 8 draws, and 10 losses, and a -9 goal differential. They've had the worst start in 50 years. It's obviously not going well for them. They did qualify, though, for the Conference League knockouts, so they'll be taking on a team that I can't remember in that. And just to give a little background here. So, to start the year, they had some manager instability. Back in May, their manager, Rafael Palladino. When your turn?
Rafael Palladino
Not sure if that was Italian, but
was not.
he resigned unexpectedly back in May. That being said, they appointed Stefano Pioli, and then Pioli did not get it right, and he was then sacked in November.
Shocker.
Yeah, when you go 15 games without a win, not a good look, especially with the Fiorentina team that was what, top 10 in Italy, last year, like not a relegation
I
team.
they
Were they
they've
higher?
been a they've been like a top 8 team.
That's what I
I would
thought.
even say
Okay.
maybe top 6 in Italy over the past 5 years. This is
Yeah,
a
they
team
finished
that's
sixth.
gone to the Conference League final, I think 2 or 3 years in a row. They can't win it, but, like, they've gone there, so they've
Yep.
been good, over
Yeah,
the
I
past few
mean,
years.
based on what you're saying too, right? Like last year they finished sixth on 65 points. They actually tied with Lazio on that, but their goal differential of 19 helped them get there. And they were right behind Roma. Roma had 69, they had 65. This is a team that should not have been in the position they are in, but I guess with Raffaele Palladino resigning, that obviously put Pioli in, and that guy's a bum. Since then, they've appointed Paolo Vanelio. Pooch.
Paulo Vanelio.
It started off rocky with him too, as he was kind of figuring out his team. He switched his team. Pioli was playing more of like a five in the back. I think it was like a 5-2-3 or 5-3-2. And Vanelio has kind of switched the team back to just like your classic 4-3-3. With that in mind, since the start of January 2026, they have not lost a game. They actually drew Milan and Lazio 2-2. They just beat Bologna 2-1, and they've also beat Cremonese 1-0. So team is kind of on the up, right? This is not like a West Ham save job where, we just have to put Tottenham on their schedule. That being said, so they've already made some signings this winter. They are in financial troubles. So because of that, they've taken kind of like what they're calling a loan first strategy. Let me go through some of these real quick. So Giovanni Fabian was loaned in from Bologna. It was actually kind of like a weird swap deal for this guy named Somme. Just kind of a 1-for-1, but purely a loan. Jack Harrison, the 29-year-old from Leeds, NYCFC product. He also played college ball here in the States, has been loaned in to help reinforce on the wings. Marco Bresciani, a center mid from Atalanta, has been loaned in too. And then Manor Solomon was loaned in from Tottenham, which is going to take me to my next point, that Fabio Paratici has recently taken over as their sporting director. He left Tottenham, so moving Manor Solomon was like moving from his left hand to his right hand. On sales, Pablo Mari, one of Puch's guys, has recently moved to Al Hilal for 2 mil. Edin Dzeko left on a free to Schalke. Simon Soam, as I mentioned, went on loan in that swap for Fabian. And then Amir Richardson, one of their young, talented lads, who I guess is not getting enough run, has now been loaned out to Copenhagen. I think that went through like today or yesterday. Some other quick background for those listening at home is owner Rocco Comisu, who, funny enough, my grandmother's brought up multiple times because he's actually an American from the Bronx. He went to Mount St. Michael's, which is a really good athletic school in the Bronx. He then went over to Columbia to play soccer. When I say Columbia, I mean the college, not the country. He was a businessman. He ended up buying Fiorentina a couple years ago. He recently passed away, I think less than a week ago. So obviously sad. Maybe we'll sign a player named Rocco or Camiso out of respect for him. But that being said, we also, one last piece of kind of assumptions is what we're calling these, and information. Dodo, their talented right back, has 18 months left on his contract. Maybe you want to watch as a potential sale opportunity. That being said, Pooch, I just rambled here. Give me a little bit of a take before we jump into the players we want to sign, the positions. What is your take on this team? What is your vision? What are we thinking here?
I think my personal take is I like everybody that we've brought in, and I've liked everybody that we've gotten rid of
Mm,
so far in real life.
nice.
I think they definitely needed help in the attacking width,
Okay.
as well as kind of solidifying that core a bit with players that are younger but know the league. So they kind of got the best of both worlds where they had maybe more talented players come in from a different league in that attacking position,
Mm-hmm.
but the core players to play in this league, they're from Serie A. So I really like that. I think one thing that I would be looking out for, and I think this is important for any team fighting in a quote unquote relegation scrap, is bringing in players that have a history within the league. So for example, like we're looking at like a defensive minded fullback, a center back, more attacking help on the right side. Like I think it's important to maybe bring in a few guys that are older, that have experience within the league, and that can play within there. I think one example that from my own personal recollection, that I thought was good. I don't think the team ended up staying up, which probably isn't a great example, um, but was Connor Cody when he
Yep.
went to, I believe
He
it
was at
was,
Wolves.
yes,
Oh,
but
you're
he went
the
to
move.
Leicester after Wolves.
Yes. Yes.
And it was a younger Leicester team where it's like, okay, he's somebody that knows the league. He'll solidify like a position, maybe not in his
Was
prime
it
anymore,
Everton?
but will help. Everton was one as well, where he did. So my
Oh, I
example rings
didn't realize he
true.
moved to.
No, my example still rings true because I forgot about the Everton move. But it's like somebody like that, where like a prototype of I think what we should grab in Fiorentina's situation is just more experience within the league and as a player themselves, because it's tough to put all of the weight on an incoming signing being like 21 years old, kind of unproven, and you're like throw him to the wolves and you're like, you have to help us stay up. Like you have to be the one. So I think what we've kind of landed on, at least defensively, is maybe going for more of that veteran like presence along the
Yep.
back line.
Yeah, and I think you hit it on the head there, right? Some of the teams' needs that I found, and shout out ChatGPT for helping too, was like you mentioned, mentality. The team loses a bit of focus. It's a young team, like we said, and then yeah, we need a little bit more defensive minded. So I mentioned a 4-3-3. Let me give what the current, obviously the team switches, but a current starting 11. In goalkeeper, you have David De Gea, who's actually in good form for him. He's
He's
found good
been
form.
really good this year.
Yeah, so he's definitely helped down. That's some of that veteran presence. If I'm not mistaken, he's the club's captain at the moment. At left back, they have Robin Gosens, who, if you guys remember, we're at Atalanta.
German
Yeah.
Atalanta.
He plays a lot of left back. And in this new Vanoli, however you say his name, style, it's kind of like your classic 4-3-3. He wants his fullbacks getting high and wide, holding the width. He needs you'd call him like, I guess you'd call him wingers. I'd call him like inside forwards. Because sometimes he plays what they call like the Christmas tree, which is like that 4-3-2-1, where like they're more inside,
Yeah,
just
they
based on
tuck
what
in.
yeah, more so. At left center back, he's been playing. I don't know if I meant to write Martin, but Marin Pongracic. Can't tell you much about him. He's been in good form. The right center back has been Luca Ranieri, and his backup has been Pietro Camuzzo. Camuzzo's a youngster who's been able to rotate in, which has been good for him. But Ranieri is the proper starter there. At right back, they have Dodo, really talented attacking fullback. He's Brazilian. And then Lamptey is behind him. Lamptey right now is injured with a knee injury. When I did the research, it said unknown return, which just in my head is like, all right, he's out for a while. At defensive midfielder, they have, what is it, Nicolo Fajuli, who's been very, very good for them. How'd I do there, Pooch? Not too bad, right? We don't have to
Good one.
blur anything.
That's a tricky one. I always get tripped up with that one. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, so they have him starting. He's been one of their best players this year. He's on loan from Juventus. And they have Hans Nicolosi. Cavaglia, I don't know. This guy's not playing.
Their defensive mid group is
some names there.
It's a name minefield.
Yeah.
I'll just say that.
And then, so again, they don't really play like an 8 and a cam, right? They are playing kind of two proper 8s. One of them usually drops in a bit more, and the one that does is, I don't know, is their first name? I didn't write it down. Endour, Ndour.
I believe it's Ched.
Yes, that's right. And then the new signing, or the new loanee, Giovanni Fabiani, is kind of playing alongside him, if or excuse me, as his understudy. That might actually be switched with Marco Bresciani. I have to double check. But the other starter for them has been Mandragora, who's been one of their best players this year from what I've looked up. Solid right center mid. I've never heard of this guy in my life, transparently, but
he's big.
He's big as in ability, or like big as in like actually like tall?
Ability. Like,
okay.
I think he plays for the national team, I want to say. He definitely had some caps. I'm just looking it up real quick just to make sure I'm correct. He has one cap in 2018, so I'm kill that. Whatever I just said.
No worries.
But he's still really good. He's an older player, but he's good.
Yeah, their midfield is solidified at the end of the day. Like they've brought in players to give some depth, but this is not a spot where it's like we need to upgrade it. I mean, I'm sure you always can, but that's not a focus here for us. And then they have this kid, Jacopo Fazzini, who is again getting a couple of minutes, young talent. He's more of like a 10, but he rotates within. Then this is where at left wing, as of right now, the way they've been playing is Albert Goodmanson, has been playing as a left wing as more of like an inside forward or second striker. Moise Kean is a proper striker. And then on the right has been where it's been a little funky for them. So as you could probably tell, we are going to be looking for a right winger for them. We're going to be looking for another center back just to kind of add a little bit of depth. And then we are looking for a more defensive minded fullback, probably more so on that right side. But I think we're going to be, a couple of these guys are able to play a couple different positions. So I think with that in mind, we are going to look for someone probably a little bit more right sided focus. Again, at the end of the day, we need someone a little bit more defensive that can maybe cover both sides. And then there's also this guy, Christian Kwame, who's like a third string striker. But that being said, where do we dive in here?
Yeah, I just want to really quickly point out too that this team, as you mentioned at the top, was not a team where a lot of people at the beginning of the year would have thought that they're in a relegation scrap. I mean, you just in terms of Italy in general, like Luca Ranieri has had a cap within the last calendar year for Italy. Um Fagioli,
Fajoli.
Fagioli, sorry. Um, he's not a staple in the Italian squad, but like he's one of those guys
Yeah,
who's fighting for a spot. Chair in the door. He's a young, I think he's 21. He has a ton of caps for the under 21s, and I wouldn't be shocked if he's on a short list to make the actual team if they make the World Cup this summer. Really good, young, talented center mid. Mandragora, like you said, like he's a bit older now, 28. But he's also somebody the year he's having has maybe kind of put him back into the conversation on being on that team. And then a name, Moise Kean, which everybody probably should know. He's been having a good season. Wouldn't be shocked with Italy's striker woes if he gets the call up. So, like, once again, this isn't a team where like you're sitting there and you're like, man, these guys kind of have nothing. They have a good amount of guys that could potentially make the Italian national team. So it's kind of like you said, like a spot where nobody would have predicted they're in this predicament, but they are. So like we need to kind of bring in some things. So if we move, I think the first place we should start is probably a fullback, a defensive
yep,
minded fullback. We have three options. They're all a bit older and they're all basically kind of just sitting on the bench at this point. So it makes sense that they would all kind of be in contention to sign for
yep.
Fiorentina because it would be most likely a loan deal for any one of them. The
Loan or
first
cheap.
is Juan David Cabral from Juve. He's got decent pace defending, and he's kind of just rotting away on the bench at Juve. Juve, obviously, they're trying to reinvent themselves after being for years one of those older established teams in Italy and Europe and trying to kind of, I mean, it's been slow kind of grinding, but like turning over to a young team. And I think it's kind of perfect for him to join Fiorentina. I don't know if you have anything to add.
Yeah, I messed this up. He's not older. That's on me. He wears number 32. He's actually 24. But like you said, right, this is a guy that is a left back who could also play some center back at 6'1". Um, at the end of the day, when I was doing the research, I was thinking more left back, but now that I'm realizing we probably should have went a little bit more right back focused, but I'm sure we could figure this out. With that in mind, again, and for those, we didn't even mention this, we are actually going purely off FIFA because I think it's more fun this way. I think it gives us a little bit of like we're not trying to be too professional. Guy's got decent pace. He's got decent defending. He could stand in there and take care of business. And at the end of the day, you probably get him on a loan because he's just sitting on that Juve bench. He's not first choice. He's not second choice. He really is like kind of a couple players down. I see Juventus being like, hey, let's send him on a 6-month loan. Go get yourself some experience, and then we'll call you back. Not to mention Juve plays 3 in the back. And again, maybe I guess he's a backup to Lloyd Kelly on the left side, but it does seem like there's you have Bremer, Gatti, Rugani, you have Kelly, you have Kalulu, all ahead of you essentially, right? Or at least in that mix. This would give some stability. And this would also, say you do go just left back, right? Or excuse me, say you do kind of just go with him. He could also cover a little bit on the left side of defense. But with that in mind, I think the next guy, now that we're talking about, might be maybe a better fit. This is Matteo Darmian, Inter Milan. He's this guy actually is older. Most people should recognize the name. Can play center back, can play right back, and he's just defensive focused. I think he has good versatility. I think he's somebody that is looking to maybe get a last chance at the Italian national team. I think that's probably a little bit of a reach, but being in a Fiorentina time, that team that maybe you can help lead out of relegation, I don't know, maybe win a European a conference league in, I don't see why not. So that's something I think, and again, I don't see why. God damn, Pooch. He just copy and pasted a name and but did like whatever. When it comes to Darmian, I think that's a guy that could probably be loaned into because again, kind of wasting away just on Inter Milan bench, depth piece, and they may just be like, you know what, go enjoy yourself. Pooch, you have two guys here. I'll let you go with the first one. This is a guy that I feel like has been around FIFA forever.
Yeah, I love him too. I love my Albanian brothers. So any single time I get to bring one up, it's awesome. Not even gonna try and pronounce his name. Ethan, if you want to do the honors.
Hasaj. I don't know. I don't speak Albanian. I apologize,
Perfect.
fellas.
That's perfect to me.
Yep.
So right now he's out of favor at Lazio. He's been there forever. He's out of favor. His contract's done at the end of the year, and he's just a good older kind of depth piece that you can add. Like he
Yeah.
probably won't start, but he's been so good for so long in terms of he's really good in the air. He's a great aerial fullback. He's a good defensive fullback. He's one of those typical classic fullbacks like
Mm-hmm.
we're mentioning, gets up and down the wings. And honestly, like he's definitively a left back, but he could play both. Like it's not like two, I don't think it's very like if you were playing FIFA like we're quote unquote doing,
Right.
like you would put him at right as the backup right back and it would
Yep.
be
And feel
fine.
good
Like
about it.
yeah. So that's my first one. I think it would just make sense, kind of like what we were mentioning earlier with Zinchenko, where it is very much a like loan him in for 6 months, but also work on a potential permanent deal. Or just loan him in. Lazio know that he's going to leave anyway in 6 months. They're not
Yep.
using him. Why are they keeping him around? Um, and then the next one I literally just looked up. When I put in his name, it shoots out similar players and so FIFA. So I was like, oh, who's this guy? Vario Reed.
Yeah, he's a beast.
He's a beast. He's a 75 overall and he has 88 potential. And he's a true right back, 19 years old. Uh, Plays for
Yeah.
Feyenoord in the Netherlands.
Netherlands.
So people may be thinking like, okay, he sounds perfect, amazing. I don't think Feyenoord would give him up on a loan. Ethan, he's made 3 appearances totaling
Mm,
156 minutes so far this season for Feyenoord. That could also be because he's maybe hurt. I don't know. It doesn't say that on here because last year he made 26 appearances.
yeah, I know
Um,
that Bayern are really linked with him for the summer. So that's why, not that like that held me back, but I just know like there are big links. Let me look him up a
let
little
me
bit.
Yeah, I'm looking him up right now. Okay, he's hurt until early
Okay.
March.
Okay. So that's why I was about to say, I was
So
like, I think he's their
scratch him,
starter.
scratch him, scratch him,
Scratch,
scratch him,
scratch, cut, cut.
scratch, scratch,
Owen, cut this.
scratch.
Owen, cut this.
Cut Brett, cut it.
Brett.
So yeah, I would still go high shad. Um
Okay. You're going Hijad. I like Hijad. Is he?
I think either
Mhm.
Hijad or Darmian would be my
Those would be my two.
go-to.
And that's why we're going to go to Owen now. Thoughts, Owen? Owen sounds like the kid in class that has not been listening. You just asked him
Popcorn.
yeah, popcorn read. Thank you. Awesome. No, tell us who you'd want us to sign as our defensive minded fullback between Matteo Darmian and then I guess Hizet. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. All right. Hey, fair enough. So that'll be our pick there. I think it makes sense. Get him in, get him some run. And again, this isn't someone who necessarily needs to start because you have Dodo
Mhm.
at right back. So this is, I think, a good fit. Well done, Pooch. I like that
Yeah.
shout. Let's move on to center back. So the player that's linked here in real life, or has had links at least, is Radu Dragusin from Spurs. Since returning from his injury, and Radu has an agent that I don't remember if we talked about this on the pod or off the pod, but like some of these agents just, they want their moment
Yeah,
of fame. So yeah, we talked about it on
we
the pod, right?
discussed it last week, yeah.
Yeah, we did. Okay. I talked to Pooch so much, I don't always remember. When it comes to Radu Dragusin, we signed him from, where was he? Genoa? Was he Genoa?
Genoa, I
Owen?
believe. Yeah.
Yeah. He was terrific in Serie A. He's had a hard time at Spurs. Obviously, tearing your ACL makes life even harder. He's just come back. It's always going to be hard to break into a team that has Mickey Van de Ven and Christian Romero starting ahead of you. So with that in mind, like as a Tottenham fan, I like him to stay. I like him as depth, him and Kevin Danso. But I could also see him making this move over to Fiorentina, going back to a league he's comfortable with, and also an opportunity to probably start. I mean, is he starting over Ranieri? I'm not sure, but over Marine Pongracic, probably. or at least he's getting enough run. So, and it gives you some flexibility. So that's a link that I like in real life. The only thing is, I think he wants a permanent move, and when I'm talking Fiorentina does have money, like we would need to make a sale to make this purchase. Whereas my next option here is Stefan de Vrij. Inter again, right? We're sticking in Italy. Inter Milan center back. For those that don't remember, he actually was just offered to Saudi for João Cancelo and those connections. So he's clearly ready to go. A lot of center backs ahead of him. I think it's a great opportunity for him not have to leave Italy, get ready for maybe a Dutch call up for the World Cup. He's probably still one of their better center backs, even if you're going down the list. And we talked about kind of like the experience, the leadership. I'm sure, and I just looked up the pronunciation. The guy we just said before, Husai. That's actually how you say that, funny enough. Husai. I'm sure he brings
Whose side are
experience.
you on?
Ooh, remontada pooch. But I do think a little Stefan de Vrij brings a lot of experience. He brings depth, and it allows you to still probably start your starting center backs if you kind of want to give them the experience, but you have someone that you could slot in at any minute and be like, yeah, we're good here, especially in, some of the bigger games. Pooch, you wrote down a name here. I think this is a cheeky name because his name was thrown out a lot at the early start of this window and maybe a little bit before the window. I'm not sure if they would do it on a loan, but let's hear it.
Yeah, I think so. The name is Axel Disasi from Chelsea. I think it falls into the same boat as Radu Dragusin, where it
Yeah.
is very much the current club is looking for a permanent deal, not a loan.
Yeah.
So I think it would be difficult for them to basically say we'll take him on a straight 6-month loan. But once again, like deadline day, he's out of favor at Chelsea. Deadline days do get crazy where a Chelsea may sit there and be like, listen, we just want his wages off the books for the
Right.
rest of the year. We'll figure it out in the summer, especially if he does well. We can ship him off somewhere permanent. So it's a shout. I think if I move into all three options of what we said, I just want to point out this has no significant relevance to what we're doing right now. But when I went to the Euros, I was drinking next to a bunch of Romanians. They love Radu. Like
Yeah.
the
Of
only
course, of course.
the only name I could like because they're speaking Romanian, so like I don't understand every word. But the name
Understandable.
Radu kept
Yeah.
Dragusin kept coming up a ton. So I do like him for that reason, even though he's the Tottenham player. He's a
Thank you.
sick name.
Thank you.
Anyway, De Vrij, I like the shout. My only thing with De Vrij is he's always been a 3 in the back center back.
Mhm.
He's really, really good. Like you said, like he could make that Dutch national team because it's 3 in the back. I don't know, especially if Fiorentina is moved to now a 4 in the back, how well he would do as that other center back, like in a pairing. Now,
Understandable.
of course, if you're in a 4 back and you have Mickey Van de Ven next to you, you're probably going to be fine.
Right.
But I don't think his legs are like he never was the fastest guy. So I think since they're not playing a 3 in the back, and then Axel, like we mentioned, like I don't know if Chelsea would give him up without even an option on the table. And even if the option is on the table in terms of to buy, I have to think there would be some conditions to that where it would be like if he starts X amount of minutes, you
Yeah.
have to buy him. Don't know if Fiorentina would go for that. I think they're looking like you mentioned at the top, like
Yeah.
they don't have any financial flexibility. Like everything basically has to be a straight loan, which makes it difficult but more fun for us.
Mhm.
So I think it just makes sense if we go Radu because all of the things that you mentioned, plus something that you didn't mention is I'm pretty sure the man who brought him in is now the technical director at Fiorentina, correct?
That actually is
Fabio?
yes. Paratici. You're actually
So
I mentioned that earlier and forgot to that's part of my explanation here.
and I don't think he left Tottenham on bad terms.
He left due to personal issues. Or like I don't know, maybe
like he wanted to go back to Italy
he needed to
probably.
go he had family things and he needed to go back to Italy to be closer to
Yeah.
home. So and it
So
made sense to join Fiorentina.
I think it would be an easier negotiation with Tottenham, for example, for like a
Without a doubt.
6-month loan and maybe a cheap option to buy or something in the future, like figuring all of that out, like in terms of the business side of it. I think would be easier to make that move for everyone involved. So I think for me personally, it would be Radu who we should go for here.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I think part of it too is just also for Radu. He's going to have a very hard time getting into this team before the World Cup, and he's one of Romania's best players. He is himself more of a three in the back center back, but again, like you're playing for Fiorentina, it gives you flexibility, and I also think when he has played in the back four, he started to figure it out. I think he'll be okay. I like that. I think he's the guy we'll go with on loan there. He immediately makes their backline better, and for him, gets him minutes. So cool, and you know he brings a little bit of leadership. He's kind of like that warrior type of center back,
Mhm.
where you know he's just a proper defender. He's not going to do too much crazy with the ball. He's just going to go and put a shift in. I like that. All right, and not to mention for Spurs, he probably then comes back in the summer, and then you get a bigger fee for him, whether it's Fiorentina or whether it's just I don't know Bologna, Girona, one of these, not Girona, Genoa, one of these bigger teams kind of coming back for him. Or, you know, maybe Fiorentina gets themselves in better positions. All right. So we talked a little bit how we have a 4-3-3 here. And although our 4-3-3, right, you have almost like two inverted inverted wingers, right? Like, for instance, I see this as like Antoine Semenyo probably being like a perfect fit or like an Mbuemo. I think it's really important for us to find a right winger. So right now, Albert Gudmundsson is kind of the starting left wing, but Manor Solomon has added a little bit of help. I don't know how much of this is just Vanoli using what he has versus him actually wanting players to do what they do. But Solomon gives you with out wide. Jack Harrison, I'm sure, will give you a little bit of that. Goodmanson, I'm seeing as probably the starting left winger. Moise Kean is your starting striker. Now, the problem is you only have anyone on the right. Solomon could probably put a shift in on the right, but I think you need to get a little bit of help there, at least to just solidify. So the first player that I've seen they're linked with is this guy, Jeremy Boga, who ironically is another left winger. He is a right-footed player, so he could definitely play on the other side too. I really just didn't like that. He's at Nice, whatever. He's an older guy. I think he's an older guy. I may have also, this might be another guy who I saw his kit number, not his actually, I'll tell you right now. No, he's 29. I'm right. It's crazy that's older. That's 4 years older than us. For Pooch, it's like a year older than him. Um,
2.
my guy here is Edin Zagrova from Juventus. This is a guy I loved at Lille last year. I really wanted Tottenham to sign him. He's one of those players that if Tottenham signed him, people are like, who the hell is this guy? I've never heard of him. And then you watch the highlight tape. He's an elite dribbler, quick, always is kind of played off the right. And what I think he adds to this team for Fiorentina is, again, like maybe he's not going to start every game for you, but what he does now is he now adds some width and the ability to kind of cut in, especially with a guy like Dodo, you know, overlapping on the right. Or say you do play a game where you have, how did I say it before? Husai? I'm hoping I said that right.
I think
Husai,
so.
who's probably not going to be flying up on the right? You now have someone that can hold that width on that side while you kind of play those two inverted wingers, and Robin Gosens can still get up on that side. It gives you a little bit of flexibility. I think Juventus would loan him. He struggled at Juventus. He's kind of found himself sitting on the bench there and buried. And again, he's going to be a big player this World Cup for Bosnia. Bosnia's not in the World Cup, sorry.
No,
Um,
no, no, no. Bosnia's in
they're
qualifying.
they are still in qualifying. Okay. Long story
Yeah.
short, like it's kind of funny, like how much we talk about like need to get in themselves like in form for the World Cup. Like I don't know, it's something I feel like was never really as talked about as much. But like this World Cup is such a big deal. You have to find your team. You have to start every week in and week out. But I think this could be a really cheeky move, and I think this could be a loan move. I don't see why Juventus wouldn't want a loan. He signed a big contract. Like I can't see him being like, oh, I'm done here already. Um, Pooch, do you have another shout for maybe that right wing, or someone to fit there, or any thoughts on Zagrova himself?
I think Zagroba is probably my go-to. I'm trying to look right now for a cheeky individual to add,
Cheeky individual.
but I can't seem to find one that I like. I mean, I'm looking right now in Serie B to see if there's
Yeah,
anyone that they could kind of uh
I did
like
that too. It's not much.
pick up. It's a tough one, like, to have an attacker like this in terms of a need, because Italy is so much based like, a lot of the teams play that 3
Yep.
3 center
3-4.
backs, 2 wing backs, yeah, 3,
Yep.
4, 3 basically, or 3, 4, 2, 1. So I think Zagrova is probably the one I'd go for on loan, because like you said, it's Juve. If he's sitting on the bench, they're like, "Listen, we're not gonna use him, like, maybe let him get a few minutes out there.
Yeah, I'm doing a little just extra research here myself. Is Sassuolo, what are they in the Serie A? Or are they a league below?
No, they are. They're in City A.
Okay. I was gonna say because I see Dominique Berardi here, but I know he's like their best player. He'd be like an
Yeah,
awesome fit.
they would never give him
Yeah.
up. Maybe a team like Torino. I'm trying to look at Torino right now.
I mean, Chiesa, I
Um,
know it's probably Juventus or nothing for him, but if he were to leave Liverpool, like he would be amazing on that right wing.
yeah, no, he would.
Didn't he
I
come up at
mean,
Fiorentina? Yeah, mate. Oh,
he would, but
Pooch,
he's not gonna go. He's not gonna go.
Pooch,
He won't. If
Pooch.
he's gonna leave for a Europe, like a
Of
big
course, of
time
course.
European team. Like
That'd be
he's
so
not
cheeky
going
though.
to.
Chiesa
It
back.
would. It
Just
would.
6 months. Just 6 months on a loan.
Nah, he's past that. I'm pretty sure he
Who's
burnt a
just
few
such a hater.
bridges too.
Yeah. I mean, I like Zagrova on that side. That's probably my go-to here. I'm just doing some, like I said, I'm just like confirming before we lock this in. There's also that guy, Evan Giesend or whatever, that's on for Aston Villa, who's kind of looking for a move away. He could be cheeky. He could play across the front, 3, I guess, with what he does. But
I do think that he's been dog shit this year. So
I
I
agree with you. He
don't
has not been good.
know if they'd. I mean, no, they're probably going to use him a ton. Let me look. I think I may have found somebody. It's more of an attacking mid. I mean, he's an attacking mid for Atalanta. Lazar Samardzic, Serbian, 23. He's an attacking midfielder. He is more of a central role, though.
Okay. Yeah, but Moise Kean could also play off the right, right? Like you can line this team up too, the way we're talking about. Like
No,
Moise
he's
Kean
more of
is,
like an attacking mid, like not
yeah,
so much a. I honestly think we just go with Zagrova.
yeah. And just to be clear, right? I'm just gonna go through FIFA, right? And just, I think something fun that we should do here too is give our best lineup. It doesn't mean our signings have to be the best. You know what I mean? Those players taking those spots, but let me take a look at Moise Kean. And this
Ooh,
is yes,
what about Yunus Musa? Oh, he's
cheeky.
on loan. He's on. Oh no,
My God, Pooch has
he's
done
on
it.
loan. He's on loan.
Yeah,
He's
I
on
also
loan.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if he can play like that right wing role. I guess he kind of could.
He
Moise
could.
Kean.
Tim Keane or Tim Weah.
I mean, here's the thing. At the end of the day, I think what we've done, right? And the goal here is number one, let's get up, and number two, like, can we compete for the conference league, right? Because we're probably one of the stronger teams in the conference league just off the bat. I think what we've done here, we'll say that we just put Radu in at left center back. Radu immediately starts. In my eyes, he immediately starts. I'm going to bold the players that we do. Radu immediately starts for us. Now that, and I don't know when Lemty comes back, but Haizaj is now able to rotate at left back.
Wait,
At right,
what
yes.
about Akor Adams from Nigeria?
Ooh, your guy.
From
That was one of your
Sevilla,
guys.
yeah. He's a
Remind
bit
people who maybe.
older. He's a bit
Okay.
older, but let me look at his SoFi.
The only thing is, is Sevilla going to let him go right now, mid-season, and he's coming back in good form?
I think I said his name wrong. Akor, is he not even in FIFA?
He is. It's AKOR, Jerome Adams.
Oh,
You said he's older? He's 25 years old, dude. My thing is, I just don't know if Sevilla would let
did I
him
spell
go
Jerome?
with them.
Oh, I found him.
I mean, he's second string striker behind Isaac Roca, right? No, Isaac Romero. I got that wrong.
I mean, he does play like he's technically a striker, but he probably could play like a right inside forward.
Yeah.
Like if you're looking at him now on FIFA, he's not on massive wages.
I'll let you pick. The only thing I'll say about this dude.
No, I'm fully set on Zagrova, but I'm
It doesn't sound like you
putting
are.
him out there.
Doesn't sound like you are. I don't need to sell you more, do I?
No, you're good. You don't need to sell me.
Radu at left center back. Haizaj is our new kind of like, we'll call him like depth piece here at fullback and more defensive. The other thing is like Dodo can play as a right wing. Yeah, we'll put Zagrova here at right winger. Whether he actually starts or not, that's up to them. And then, all right, now looking at this team, let's put our best lineup together. We're going to keep it with the 4-3-3. De Gea in net, left back, Robin Gosens, left center back, Radu Dragusin, right center back, Luca Ranieri, right back, we go in Dodo.
We're going Dodo.
Defensive mid, Fajoli. At left center mid, however they want to set this up, we'll keep with Endor. We'll keep with Mandragora. At left wing, so this is where we got to get, I think I'm probably start Goodmunson.
Yeah, I would
I think I'm
too.
going to start Goodmonson there with Solomon kind of being his deputy and maybe rotating in. Damn, Pooch was deleted. Jack Harrison, like he didn't even exist.
No, just put
Uh,
him.
there you go. I'm fine with that. Moise Keane leading the line. Eden Zagrova as our starting right winger. And then you have guys like Jack Harrison rotating, Menor Solomon rotating. You have Giovanni Fabiani rotating, Marco Bresciani rotating in. And yeah, I think this team, you have the depth you need. I think we give our new manager the flexibility. And what do we have? Minimum 2 loans. Yeah, 3 loans. Pooch has just called Tariq Lamptey a wanker on the document. Pooch, would you like to explain?
I don't know what you're talking about. Definitely did not do that. He's a former Chelsea. He's a Cobham guy. So
I didn't even know that.
yeah,
That dude didn't he come up with a brain? But all right, Fiorentina, congratulations. And we didn't make any sales. This team has already kind of given up a ton of players. It doesn't really make sense for us
yeah.
to make sales. But yeah, congratulations to Fiorentina. You have now been saved from relegation, and I think you're in a position to now win the Conference League. So you're welcome.
Wait,
Yes, Poochie man.
do you hear that?
Do I hear what?
My God, that's Owen's music. Owen's wild. Owen's wild. Owen,
All right.
what do you have for us?
I love that. Oh,
Oh, Big Wilf,
Big Wilf. Here's a guy.
mature.
And he's gonna shag the gaffer's daughter. Boyo. Who is not with
Well-
semen retention? Okay, sorry.
Yes,
Yes.
there we go. There we go. There we go. I gotta see.
Owen's
if
letting
this
that
guy-
semen leak. Let it flow, brother. Let it flow.
No, that's a great pick, Owen. That's an
Owen.
amazing Owen's wild.
Have you ever considered becoming a sporting director? Nope, just Canva for you. Post Owen. That being said, shout out Fiorentina, shout out to Owen for a nice little wild card there to end it up. Yeah, I think we've saved the club. I like the Zaha pick. That's fun. I like our picks here. So let's see if they do any of our picks before the window ends. And who knows? Maybe Fabio Paratici is listening to us right now. You never know. Maybe Owen's curly hair brought him in. You never know. But I think it is now time for us to move on to our next segment. We're going to move into our UCL recap, and then we'll move into our weekend preview. Alrighty, boys. So let's jump into our UCL recap here. Crazy UCL week. Let's start where I think the biggest result, the biggest upset. Bodo Glimt defeat Manchester City 3-1 up in, where are they? Norway? Yeah, up in Norway. Are they not the most northernmost team? I feel like I saw this in all of Europe. Is that correct, or is there teams more north?
I think in a European competition this
Right.
year.
I was going to say, because I feel like there's teams potentially, but
yeah.
Pooch, I'm going to let you go in on this. You've been saying City are fake demons.
you say it. You say it.
City are fake
I've
demons.
I've spoken about it enough. I've
Wow.
been preaching to the choir for a long time about this, and I'm not the one who wrote this down. You are. So I want to hear you say it.
City are fake demons, Pooch. I mean, this is not their year. That being said, though, you're getting a little cocky.
Never wrong, just early.
You're getting a little cocky, Pooch. What happens if Arsenal blow the league now?
Well, then I can't believe I'm going to say this, but if we blow the league, congratulations, Aston Villa.
Well, it's Villa. It's not even. It's crazy because City are only 7 points off, and so are Villa. That's crazy.
I know.
I
know. No, I mean, my first takeaway from this game was, Europeans are soft, because all week I've been hearing about how cold it's going to be there. And I saw before the game, they're like, City playing in minus 14 degrees. And I'm like, damn, that is cold. I'm shocked that they're actually playing a game in that. I forgot that they use Celsius, so I looked up the Celsius there. It's like 20 something degrees. And I don't know about you. Oh, and I don't know about you, but growing up, you're playing in 20-degree weather. You just put a long sleeve on, maybe a sweatshirt, and like you're fine. Like you're
It's
good.
been 15 degrees out here every day, and I'm out here delivering pizzas. You know what I mean? And I'm just going to hoodie. Jacket's in the car, of course, but like, come on. You know what I mean?
That was my first takeaway, was just Europeans are soft. Like I was like, you can't be complaining about that. My second takeaway was, I kind of feel bad for Rodri, because clearly with the injuries, his legs are gone. And I think you saw that in the double yellow. I just don't think that I know that their biggest issue is center, like the defense in general.
Yep.
Rico Lewis, more like Rico Stinkuous.
Ooh,
I'm not good with
that was
names.
good.
Like nicknames, you do it.
Rito Stinkuous.
Okay, I guess
Or
it
how about
works.
Rita? How about Rico like Luzuous?
Either one
Luzis?
works. Either one
Rico
works.
Luzis?
Yeah, it's like he was
Rico
billed,
Poochus?
and I think this is a big thing with Pep is like when you fall out of favor, you fall out of favor so fast. And
Yeah.
he's one where like 3 years ago, people are like, he's gonna be England's right back for the next decade and a
Yeah.
half.
I love when they
And
do that.
now it's like maybe he'll get a move to like Leeds this summer. Like it's one of those things where it's like he just isn't up to the standard. Kusanov, I mean, another guy super young, but like when you spend 40, 50 million on a young guy like that, like, and then he sits the bench for 3 months and you bring him in when you get an injury crisis, it's like he's not going to do well. Like their defense is just right now so shambolic. Their midfield, I don't think personally that they have any leaders or real accountability in that squad in terms
Hmm.
of Bernardo Silva. I think is a big crybaby.
Yeah, you're
Rodri,
not a
like
fan
I
of him.
said, no, Rodri, I think's a bit too much of a hothead in general. Holland just has been stinking up the gaff. Like Phil
Been
Foden,
stinking up the gap.
Phil Foden has his moments, but once again, it's like Phil Foden is very much like we were mentioning earlier, a Mateta at this point in his career, where you're like, he either looks like a top 5 player in the world or a guy that's playing like a good winger on a mid-table club. Like that's you're getting one of two Phil Foden. To me, it's just too many inconsistencies in their team right now. It's not like the City that we've seen of past, where like you look and it's like 23 like giants, like, in terms of stature in football.
Oh,
Like,
you're talking about the New York Football Giants.
no, no,
I was
no.
very confused. I was like, oh,
Now I will say if John Harbaugh took over this team, they probably would be doing a bit better.
okay, just a bit.
Because I think his man manage well, he doesn't know the game. It would be like Ted
Mm,
Lasso taking over, but with more serious team like man management than Ted
yeah,
Lasso had.
that's fair.
Um, so yeah, that's my little rant on City for this week. I feel like I rant on them every week. But yeah.
Yeah. I also just think, like you kind of mentioned, they're just in a tough spot when it comes to injuries. Like the entire back line is out, where he's
But
got this. Here goes
I'll
Pooch.
just say this.
Every
I'll just say
team
this.
has injuries, though.
Well, I I
Well,
mean,
they
it's true.
do.
Like for Tottenham, like you could sit there and blame all the injuries that you've had this season, like, and you could sit there and cry about it every single week and be like,
Last year I
"Well,
did.
yeah," but like it's one of those things where anybody could cry about like we shouldn't be in this position because XYZ is injured. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, plan better, like rotate better. It's a big thing with Arteta too, where like I get on him. It's like you have to plan bet like you have to manage your squad better in terms of Portsmouth away, don't be playing your starting 11 and then have them play 4 games in a row. Like I get it, like the injuries that like Gvardiols was a freak accident, like can't
Yeah,
really
that was just
plan
going to
for
be my
that.
like criticism of your point. I was like, you like if these are all like you and I have talked about this so much. These are all like hamstrings. It's like, all right, like you gotta, your training staff has to do better. But like when I got dudes breaking their legs, I'm kind of like, all right. I mean, he recalls this kid Max. I still don't know how to say his name, Alinane, back, and it's like he's clearly not a point. But go on. I'm sorry.
No, I mean that was basically my point is like I don't like it when people just blame injuries on why their team isn't performing. And I don't think Pep has really done that to the point where I can sit here and be like mad at him for doing it.
Yeah.
But like it's just one of those things where it's like it just frustrates me when people in general are like we would have won the game if we had like X, Y, and Z available. Well, you didn't, so you lost. Like do better with the guys that you have. Like
Hmm.
you can't go in the past and change things. So like with the people that
Mm,
you have, figure out a way.
spiritual.
But like if Pep has to change to a back five because his defense is so leaky, then do that. Like if you know you need extra help in the back, do that. Like you have the best
Hmm.
striker in the world. Like he's not in form right now, but he's still the best striker in the world. Like have like you don't whatever. Ugh. Yeah.
It's okay. I hear what you're saying. I just think I agree with you. They haven't. If I'm Arsenal, I'd be a little scared because they're still in second, only 7 points behind. That's all I'd say. With all their star players out. So that's
Well,
all.
not all their star players are out.
Well, their star
Holland isn't in
defenders out.
form. Phil Foden isn't in form.
Hey,
Semenyo's
you're starting to cope.
Semenyo.
You're starting to cope. You could have just said, "Hey, best of luck."
That tastes good. What was that? Oh, Tottenham tears.
That was one of the corniest things I've ever seen in my life, bro.
I just wanted a sip of water
remember,
so
you
bad.
remember,
I
you
wanted
remember,
a sip of water
yeah,
so
because you
bad. I
just
had
fucking
no comeback.
yapped. You
I
just
had no
yapped.
comeback. I had no comeback. I was just
That
trying to
is
do a pooch
so.
remontada,
Wait,
and I put the ball in my own net. It's
but
okay.
you gotta clip that. That was like Anthony coming onto the field when they're like all angry or whatever. That's what you just did.
Top 10 respect moments in football as compilation right there.
Oh my god. All
Okay,
right, well,
let's move on.
I win. Copenhagen Napoli draw 1-1. I didn't watch. I have nothing. I'm not gonna
I
let Pooch. Yeah, go
I
on.
watched
Okay.
a bit. The only thing I have to say is uh Napoli's in a really interesting position right now because Conte has not been doing
Yeah,
well.
we
And
mentioned it
it's
earlier.
yeah, and on top of that, they were playing a man up for most of this game and drew. So I think there's internal a little bit of internal turmoil at Napoli right now. A lot of the summer signings that they made haven't hit. Noah Lang, we mentioned earlier, they
Hmm.
just brought in. Now they're getting rid of. It'll be an interesting rest of the season for Napoli. I'm pretty sure they're on the outside looking in right now too, in terms of the table. Um, Let me just double check that. I mean,
Syria
there's
is
still
crazy
one
this year.
game left. Yeah, they're right now in 25th, so they're one spot out. They're tied with like 5 teams on points for those spots. So like I think they'll be end up being fine, although their last game is against Chelsea in the Champions League.
Yeah, I mean Chelsea already
So
qualified, so you never know.
you
I
never
think
know,
they're
but
good.
Chelsea also are playing for a top 8 spot.
Yeah, yeah, that is true. That's a good point. We'll see. I'm a Napoli kind of supporter. I'd love to go to the city of Naples and just take it all in. Arsenal beat Inter 3-1. Pooch, give me 15 seconds on this game. I didn't get a chance to watch. I was watching the Barca game. I think the Barca game was at the same time. No, it was the Spurs game.
Good game for Arsenal, really dominant performance in the San Siro. It was the first time this season that I thought we have a chance in the Champions League.
Okay. Madrid dismantled Monaco 6-1. I mean, they kicked the shit out of them. I don't know. People are going to think Madrid are back. I do think, and this is something I meant to mention when we started the show, but so Gareth Bale, when talking about Real Madrid and what's going on with the coaching staff, he had a great point. And it's something we've been talking about, but it's like Real Madrid does not need a tactical coach, like a crazy tactics. They need a man manager. It's obvious. And that's what he said. He's like, you have so many players that can just change a game with just their pure ability on their own that like you just need someone to manage the egos, put the right players on the field, make sure things work out. So with that in mind, I think we're seeing that more with Odriozola. The more he talks, he just is essentially they keep calling him like their homegrown like Jose Mourinho. Okay. But that in mind, it's like the more he talks, he's propping Vinny up a lot. He's calling Vinny a captain, he's calling him a leader, he's calling him best in the world, which past managers didn't really do. Not saying that he needs it, but like that actually is man management, right? Knowing that you need some, like you kind of have to have his back more than anyone in the world does. And it feels like he's doing that, right? And now Vinny's like, I want to stay here for a while. Vinny is like the type of guy that's on your team that, you know, if he scores 3 goals, he's happiest guy on earth. He wants to go off for some beers after the game and loves life, and he's everyone's best friend and loves you. Versus if he misses 2 and you don't pass it to him once, he hates everything. He needs to leave this team. He doesn't want to play soccer anymore, right? Just one of those guys that you have to know how you're handling him. So whatever, they dismantled Monaco. Good for them. We don't care. Sporting upset PSG 2-1. Now the lad who did this was Luis Suarez. No, not the Uruguayan Luis Suarez, but the Colombian Luis Suarez, including a 90th minute winner. Awesome game. Shout out to Sporting. I was just in Lisbon this summer. Ironically, if I'm not mistaken, Benfica is actually the bigger club there in Lisbon. That's something I learned while I was there. I thought Sporting was, but really fun game. Anytime I see PSG lose, I'm happy. I don't know. It was just fun. It's good to see them lose, and Sporting played well. Owen, thoughts? Owen, thumbs up. Good. Appreciate it, Pooch, anything on that or nothing?
No, I mean, I'll keep it quick. I don't think this is the same PSG team as last year. I think
Nope.
there's a lot more internal stuff going on, even with the Luis Enrique rumors that he might dip. So I think it'll be an interesting one to watch for in the coming months of Champions League in terms of how they get on as the competition moves forward.
I don't know if this is going to make sense, but PSG as a club feel like to me almost a mercenary team, no matter what. And it feels a little bit, and I know the Chelsea fans are going to go fucking nuts and be like, well, actually, we've had a team that had the most consistency and players who are the most tenured in the Prem. It feels a little bit the same way where it's like, you don't have players necessarily who stay for 10, 15 years anymore, right? I mean, and I know Chelsea back when they had, you had John Terry, you had Lampard, you had that was a different game. We're talking probably 2015 on, or maybe even later, right? It feels like PSG are getting into that realm a little bit of, they used to have Zlatan forever. They had Cavani, they had Angel Di Maria. It feels like just the way their culture is, this is going to become a team where Dembele leaves in a year or two. Enrique leaves. Like, no one stays past 3 years, right? You all show up, you try and win for 3 years, and then you dip, right? And maybe, yeah, you may have your Marquinhos, but like, even him, right? Like, he's kind of the last guy that's a true mainstay and fixture in this team. Nuno Mendes probably in the next year or two ends up at a Real Madrid, right? Or something. Maybe Hakimi goes back to Real Madrid. You know what I'm trying to say? I don't know. I could be totally wrong, but it does feel like a team that's becoming a little bit of a mercenary team. I know I just pissed off the Chelsea fans so bad with what I just said, by the way. I'm getting a text in the morning. I just know it. Oh my God. I love it. Talking about Chelsea hate, Spurs beat Dortmund 2-0. I'm Frank in. Frank back. Oh, come on. Come on. Totally back in on Frank. What a performance. Dortmund got a red in the first 10 minutes, and we still won the game. We are literally so awesome. No, don't care. That Dortmund team's in trouble, by the way. We don't talk about it enough. That Dortmund team is in trouble. Schlotterbeck's
It's
going to leave. Like, their best players are going to leave. And I don't know how much youth talent they have anymore. I don't know. It feels like Leipzig is now the new Dortmund when it comes to, just all turning out this youth talent.
I don't think it's just a Dortmund problem. I think it's a
Mm,
Bundesliga problem. I think the
mm,
Bundesliga is in trouble. I don't know if you saw the clip of Harry Kane's goal from the Leipzig game
yeah,
where it was Olise running down the side, crossing it into Harry Kane. But if people listening have a chance to go watch that clip, there's a great clip and it shows how bad the defending in the Bundesliga is,
yeah,
where like they go up against, and this is not, I know it's going to come off as a knock against Tottenham, but they're going up at a current side that's a mid-table team in England,
yeah,
and they got dismantled. And they're supposed to
yeah,
be a team that's qualifying for Champions League next
yeah,
year. Like, and it's like it just shows the disparity in the league, and I think it's more on the league in general. It's a more
yeah,
indication on the league in general than just
yeah.
a
And I just
Dortmund.
think they're also a little discombobulated. But that being said, with Tottenham, like you said, I mean, I in the past I'd be like, I'd look at a roster and be like, well, we're supposed to be good. And now, like, and we talked about it a little bit this past weekend with the team prior to this game, or excuse me, right after the West Ham game in a group chat. But it made me really realize, like, something my dad said. I don't know if I said it on the pod. I definitely texted my friends just because it was relevant. But he used to be like, he said he was watching one of the games. He's like, you guys used to have like Harry Kane, that Sun guy, and he recognized some more. He's like the Dele Alli kid. He's like, now I don't know a single player on the team. Now, my dad's not as tapped in as us, where he would recognize a Mickey Van de Ven, a Christian Romero, or a Dom Solanke, right? Not saying, or like a Xavi Simons. But at the same time, it's like there is just such a difference from when we were compete with proper top four team versus now. Now it feels like such a reach for us to get into the top four, whereas back then it was like, no, this roster on paper is a top four team. I think it's part of the rebuild. I think what Tottenham did with the players they did this midweek was ridiculous. Because I mean, the other thing is you have this academy. You have this kid, Janai Byfield, step in, has a standing ovation off the field. He was terrific. Terrific. And it's like, why does it have to come to such desperate terms for us to see our academy players play? Every other club, you have an academy kid, he gets integrated into the team, you get excited, is happy. With us, it's like, well, we have 15 players out and we can't register anyone else, so you're going to play today. And the kid plays well, and you're like, why is this taking so long? At Barcelona, I see it all the time. It's like, they're like, yeah, he's going to be in the preseason tour next year. And it's like a thing, like every year, like 4 to 5 La Masia kids get put on the preseason tour, whether they stay with the first team or not. And it's their chance to like really impress and show you. And I don't like in Tottenham bring kids, but it feels like they don't even get minutes then either. I don't know. Luca Williams-Barnes is supposed to be one of the best young talents in English football. He can't get on the field for us. Mikey Moore gets loaned out to Scotland, which is fine. but it's like weird. Because it's not us rating these kids because we don't see them. It's people who watch these kids and say, "Oh, the next generation of England's great," and 4 or 5 of them are Tottenham Academy kids, and you're like, "Oh, well, I wouldn't know." So it's very frustrating, and that's why like when we talk about if Frank is fired, I would want somebody like Xavi Hernandez because you know he's going to integrate the talented kids. I'm not going to go on from Tottenham. I'm going to leave it there. But Frank back in. We're going to win the Champions League and get relegated in the Prem. We're going to be the first team to do it. And it's going to be actually so fucking awesome.
Franklin.
Yeah, I saw you made that change on there. Ajax beat Villarreal 2-1, 89th minute winner. The reason I wrote this down is both these teams suck in the Champions League. Villarreal is going against Madrid this weekend. It's like one of the best games in La Liga, but meanwhile they're getting beat by a bad Ajax team in the champion. Mind blowing. They're legitimately the opposite Tottenham. Like the opposite Tottenham. I don't get it, but I get it. I didn't want to mention this. We're gonna have to. Quarabag beat our Eintracht Frankfurt 3-2. Frankfurt are out of the Champions League, and we couldn't save them. Pooch. I didn't watch the game, but
don't save them. They don't want to be saved.
Don't save him. He don't want to be saved. 9. Quarabag. Oh, sorry. When I speak a little German too. Mind if a white boy get a little cultural with you?
Einisch bleibt das nicht.
I don't know what the hell he just said. I'm gonna have to read that back.
I need
that
a
was
pencil.
freaky shit. I said 9.
I need a pencil.
That was freaky. Whatever, man. Yeah,
I went to Germany. I had to learn some German.
Why are you asking people for pencils? That's sauce. That's sauce.
Well, that was the only German that we actually learned. So everybody spoke English.
Before dudes go there and start asking other people for pencils. Okay.
Einem Bleistift nicht. Einem
I don't think you guys
Bleistift
needed to ask. You guys could have probably just provided. That being said, Quarabag scored in the 80th and 94th to tie the game and then obviously win the game. Frankfurt shot. I'm not helping them. I'm over Frankfurt. Galatasaray drew Atleti 1-1. Bayern beat Union St. Gilloise, USG, as I call them, 2-0. Kane had a brace. He should have had a pen, should have had a hat trick, but he missed his pen. Bayern are qualified for top 8. Juventus beat Benfica, the other Lisboa club, 2-0. Liverpool take care of Marseille, 3-0. Newcastle beat PSV 3-0, and then Barca get it done against Slavia Prague 4-2. First off, Fermin Lopez, best number 10 in the world at the moment. Kid has 20 goals and assists. Beast.
Would you give him up for 40 mil?
No. Why would I get what?
Because Chelsea put in a 40 mil offer this summer, and you guys.
Yeah, and Barca asked for 100 because they see his value.
I know,
okay.
crazy. I was just bringing it up. Because once again, it just shows Chelsea's incompetence in the market, where they sat there, they legitimately sat there and said, "Huh, Fermin Lopez, I think we can get him for 40 mil." Like,
yeah, Barca I think said 100, which makes sense. I mean, he's Barca through and through, but also like. When they made that, I guess it was this summer, so not last.
Ethan,
yes.
It's the same as me going up to you and saying, "Hey," without doing really any, like maybe some minimal research, but me going up to you and being like, "Hey, can I buy your car off you for like 5K?" And what would you respond with?
9.
Exactly. It's like you'd sit there and be like, "Dude, no shot. Like, what are you even
Give
talking
me the
about?"
pencil.
Like,
how did you say it?
Einen Bleistift nicht.
Why is it like that? It's like you press a button. He can't pronounce shit, but he's got the Ein Bleistift. He's so good at that.
Because I practiced it for so long on Duolingo.
I'll be like, read this name, and the word is chaos. And he's like, oh, chaos.
I was stuck on that level on Duolingo for so long.
So silly, Poochie.
Milche. That's milk. I couldn't get that one.
Yeah, you're asking for milk and pencils. You're a freak, bro. You're a freak. Ooh, all I'm saying is I'm the only one not asking for milk or pencils between these two. Okay, I'll give you that. Good. Unless I'm missing something. But this game against Slavia Prague sucked. Barca went down 1-0, and like we love to just go down 1-0 and then wake up and win. Pedri's hurt his hamstring. He's gonna be out for a month, which sucks, but I think we'll survive. Like I said, Fermin, it's crazy because there was a tweet a little while ago about Barca. When Dani Olmo plays, you miss Fermin, and when Fermin plays, you miss Dani Olmo. Well, now because of the injuries, they actually both play at the same time. You get a little bit of both. They're both hitting bangers and just kind of going bar for bar. Yeah, we get it done. We do need to make it. What is it like? Through to the top 8. There's like 15 teams tied on 13 points.
Yeah,
I know Chelsea are. I know we are. I think maybe even Bayern is. Maybe I was wrong about being qualified for top 8.
Bayern and Arsenal are the only two that are locked in. Arsenal's locked into number 1 or 2.
No, definitely 1. Oh,
No,
I see what you're
because
saying. I see what you're saying. Because there's one more.
yeah,
I
yeah.
thought you were saying that right now. Yes, I understand. Yeah, it was a fun little Champions League.
Mhm.
Real quick, just did want to hit the Europa League for our Europa League fans out there. It's one of the biggest European tournaments. Pooch, how many
Are
of those do
are
Arsenal have?
Europa heads? Are Europa heads?
Yes, our Europa heads. Pooch, how many Europa League titles does Arsenal have? By the way, quick question.
0.
Oh no, but as not even the women, because we do
They
club wide,
don't.
right?
So if you actually followed soccer, you'd know that there is no Europa League for the women.
Mm. As someone who's like a big like feminist, maybe you should get in there and change that.
I'm trying. I've been putting petitions in. You don't know the work I've been going through.
How many Euro leagues does Arsenal have in men's basketball?
I don't even know if they have a team.
Oh, interesting. Barca have 2 Euro leagues, 20 Spanish league championships, 27 Copa del Rey, whatever. Because we're just talking
How
clubs.
many
Go bar
white
for bar for me
boy-
right now.
Okay, ready? How many GOAT white boy NBA players has Barcelona developed for basketball?
Marcus Gasol, Pau Gasol,
Luka Doncic? You ever hear of him? You ever hear of him? Luka
Ass.
Doncic?
Ass.
You ever
They
hear of
lost
the
that
GOAT?
trade.
You ever
They
hear of the
lost that
GOAT?
trade.
You ever hear of the GOAT Luka?
Yeah, that's why.
Owen, quick sidebar. Owen, quick sidebar here. I'm not a big basketball head. Don't know big basketball. All I know is I'm a Luka fan. That's it.
Get his
I'm
ass.
gonna be honest.
Like
I'm gonna be
Madrid does.
honest. I'm gonna be honest. As a Sacramento Kings fan, shout out West, I'd be okay with that. I want Luka on my team.
Oh, and just so you know, he wasn't just shouting out like the direction West. We know somebody named West. Just so you're aware there, because I could tell you were a little confused. West Coast Pooch, bro. Get him out there. California Pooch Public. All right, let's jump into the Europa League. Villa beat Fenerbahce 1-0. That caravan picture couldn't have been real, right? You guys know what I'm talking about? The picture of Villa. Look this up on your phone. So there was pictures going out of Villa with their team buses going to the stadium. There had to be 20 plus buses. I don't know. I can't tell if this is real or not, or if like it was made fun of after. I don't know. I'll look it up too, so you guys could say if you're driving the car, do it too. Preferably if you're on the Parkway. It's that.
Do you want to know why?
Why?
It's because safety measures. Because do you know how I always talk about the Copenhagen, the Battle of Copenhagen?
Yeah.
It's because of that. So all the English teams and fans get like a massive. It was mostly security buses, not
Oh wait,
so
so
much
there's
the
fans
team.
on those buses?
Either fans or I mean I just saw that it was 40 buses.
Yeah.
So I didn't read too much into it, but my guess is between fans and then also just security in general, like police on the buses to make sure that like they got to because like the English and the Turkish fans do not mix well together because
Understood.
of that Battle of Copenhagen. Even though I don't think Villa was involved at all. So, but yeah.
Gotcha. Totally understand that. Celtic and Bologna draw 2-2. Fun game. I didn't watch it. This was a surprise game. PAOK Salonika. Pooch, say that for me.
Pass.
Surprise Betis 2-0. What was it? Eintracht. What did you say to me before? You can't say PAOK Salonika.
The moment's gone.
Oh my God. Okay, sorry. SK Braun beat FC Midtjylland 3-3 in a 6-goal thriller, and there was a 90th plus 10 minute pen. Roma beat Stuttgart 2-0. Pooch, 5 seconds on this.
Good game. 2-0. Pasili scored a second goal, which was awesome.
So Braga beat Forest. I said 5 seconds.
No, I'm okay with that.
Okay. Braga beat Forest 1-0, which I guess is that an upset? I'd say so, right? I know Forest aren't in great form, but like they're better than Braga. And then Vigo, poor Owen, he's getting so tired. Vigo beat Lille 2-1, big game. We're going to do a quick weekend preview, and then we still have our Footy 501 and our Mystery 11. We might cut the Footy 501.
Yeah, we could just do Mystery 11.
Cool. Let's jump into a quick weekend preview. We got Burnley versus Spurs. I'm going to take Burnley to beat Spurs 2-1. City versus Wolves. Pooch, give me a scoreline.
3-0 City.
Okay. Bournemouth versus Liverpool. Owen, score. Palace versus Chelsea. Give me this one. 6-0 Palace. No, I'm just kidding.
I think it's going to be 6-0 Chelsea.
Yeah, it might be, honestly. But this also feels like a game that Palace could kind of steal. And Chelsea fans are going to be like, what the hell just happened? I don't know. I could see it. And then they're going to talk about how like they need to sell Enzo or something, or Caicedo actually sucks.
Yeah.
And they need to sign another young star, like Yan Diomande tomorrow. Newcastle versus Villa. Battle of kind of mid versus decent.
Wankers. Battle wankers.
So which team are you wanking off then?
Ooh, the good question. If we're going on footballing abilities, Villa.
Okay. Wait. Okay, just give me a score, man.
I'm gonna say 2-1 Newcastle.
Wow, upset there. And then Arsenal versus United. Give me a score here. Sorry, Pooch. Now your turn.
Oh, good.
Owen's always a cop out, man. How about you make a real bet? Make a real guess here. But what happens if it happens? Then you're right. Yeah, that sounds about right. Pooch, thoughts on that real quick? 6 seconds.
It'll be a tough game.
At the end of the day, I think Arsenal probably squeaks this one out, but I think United's going to put up a fight. You know what? Fuck it. United. Then we move over to La Liga. Villa contra Bilbao. Villarreal contra Madrid. Atletico versus Mallorca. You got Barca versus Oviedo. And Sociedad versus Celta Vigo. The game of the weekend here is probably Villarreal versus Real Madrid, or some of the cheeky games. And the reason I wrote them was Sevilla versus Bilbao will be a fun one. Sevilla's struggling, but like that, they still have a decent squad. I don't know. And there's a good chance that Ramos buys that Sevilla club. I think he's like trying to finalize not his group. And then Sociedad versus Celta Vigo. Sociedad just beat Barca. Celta Vigo's in good form. That'll be probably like a sneaky fun game for those who are trying to get into La Liga. Yes,
wait, real quick, and I don't want to go too long on this one, but didn't Ramos sign as a player to Sevilla?
No.
No,
he did.
Okay.
He did years ago.
Mind. No. I thought recently when he came back from Mexico, he signed as a player.
No. So he I'm so confused. Okay, so long story short, he's pretty much retired at this point, and him and his group are now looking to purchase the club. I don't know. They're looking to finalize.
I was just gonna say that'd be very cool if he was an owner/player.
Yeah.
So that was my thing. I just didn't know if he signed on as a player originally.
Yep. We're gonna move to Serie A. Como versus Torino. Probably 6-0 Como. We have Fiorentina versus Cagliari. So that'll be the first game of our rebuild. See if we saved them. Juventus versus Napoli. Another big game. That'll be, I'm not going to watch it, but that'll be fun. And then our game of the weekend. We didn't want to go Prem. We wanted to go with something fun. Pooch has put his neck on the line here. AS Roma versus AC Milan. Pooch, who's winning? Give me 11 seconds.
Roma.
Score. You still have 3, 2. Wow, okay, just kneeled it out. Ligue 1. Marseille versus RC Lens. Give me Lens. Give me Lens here. Actually, no, give me Marseille for Owen. And then Lille versus Strasbourg, another big game. And then, Pooch, you were talking about women's soccer. I'm the one that put this in for you, actually, before we even talked today. Around the world, Chelsea's women versus Arsenal's women. 2 of the better women's soccer clubs here in the world. Pooch, who's winning this? Tell me why, since you're such an aficionado of women's soccer.
How many seconds do I get?
12.
Chelsea women's, because they're the better team by far.
Interesting. Okay. Wow.
They are they're very good.
Hand up.
Arsenal's women's are also like they're in a weird spot right now. So
okay,
they're
cool.
very much like a men's Tottenham team where they are been doing really good in Europe, but horrendous
struggling in the
league. Yeah.
Okay.
And not like, I mean, they're like 3rd or whatever, but like
right.
it's like
for their standards.
They're not. Yeah, they should be trying to compete for the title. They're not.
Yeah.
So.
Understandable. And then Pooch, we're all going to give one lock this week, one lock that we feel good about. Just to add to the preview. Pooch, why don't you start? Do you want me to start?
I'll start. My lock is Spurs over Burnley.
Okay. What's with the smile? Is that like see, here's the thing. You're getting me, Pooch. You're starting to get on my nerves, okay? You're starting to get on my nerves. If that's like a cheeky, like being a dickhead, that's fine. You know what? I'm going back. United's beating Arsenal. Fuck you, Pooch. Here comes City. United.
Mine was more so because a certain Spurs fan currently sitting here in this podcast 30 or a couple minutes ago said Burnley was going to beat Spurs.
They probably will, but it's like, you can't talk shit about my team, but I can.
No. My lock is Spurs.
Fine. Glory, Man United. That being said, Owen, Give us your mortal lock of the week. If Owen doesn't get this pick right, we kill him. For all legal purposes, we will not actually kill Owen. We may just touch him a little bit. Okay, go ahead. Both these guys just gave me a look like they weren't just asking for milk from a pencil in German 2 minutes ago, and they both had it all locked, ready to go. I'm sorry. You're right, Al. You're right. I got myself worked up. It's 10:37 p.m. Okay, go on. I'm just going to step back, mute my mic. There we go. Interesting choice. Okay. Maybe my Ted is goodbye goal. That kind of feels like a Palace thing. Yeah, that was against us. Yeah. Alrighty. So we're going to cut the footy 501. We are going to move into our Mystery 11 because we deprived you all of that this past week. And also because we are very tired and you guys have not made it this far anyway. All right.